Welcome back to Trading Hour. You're on CNBC-TV18. Well, Raymond, the stock has been in focus. You pull up a last 7-day chart of the stock. It's seen a big move. Even yesterday or day before, I think the stock did see a big move. Now, reports indicate that the company plans to sell its ColorPlus as well as the Park Avenue brands. Now, to discuss this or confirm or deny this, well, we are joined by Mr. Sunil Kataria, the CEO at Lifestyle Business Raymond, who joins us. Hi, Sunil. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, I wanted your comment. Is there any truth in this? Is Raymond looking to sell any of these two brands, ColorPlus or Park Avenue?
See, these are complete market speculations, and I would not even comment on that. In fact, what I would like to take you through at this time is the way we are looking at our Raymond apparel business, in fact.
All right.
So first, in the month of September itself, the board had approved the demerger of our apparel business, which at that time has been managed by a 100% subsidiary called Raymond Apparels. And we are going to demerge this and fold it completely into Raymond Limited. So all the 4 brands which come under apparel, which is Park Avenue, Raymond Ready to Wear, ColorPlus, and Parks, would actually become part of this demerger. Okay. And this gives us a huge amount of synergy. So the whole strategic part of the...
Sunil, we'll get to the remaining part of the business. I just want to clear out the air first on this report. They have also mentioned that you all had discussions with Denmark-based company, Bestseller. Any truth to that?
See, again, I'm saying is these are speculations of different kinds. The one thing very clearly to us is that this business is something which we are laid out a blueprint, and we are looking at doubling this business in the next 3 years, including all the brands which I just mentioned. Okay. In fact, the whole focus would be to use the synergies of both the fabric business retail footprint as well as our apparel footprint together to take them forward. And just to give you a few thoughts, we are very clearly targeting at multiple growth vectors. One is doubling the apparel business itself in the next 3 years. That's one. We have roughly around 1,500 odd stores footprint, including the Raymond stores footprint. And that is where there's a huge opportunity for us to increase the throughput of our apparel brands. And that's another focus area for us. Another very major growth vector that we are looking at is the ethnics business of ours. We have a brand called Ethnics by Raymond. And that business we are looking at, taking up around 3 to 4 times in the next 3 years. And one thing which I can tell you for sure is that we are targeting to double the retail footprint of our ethnics business itself. So in a very clear way, we clearly see that we have huge amount of loyal consumer base. Just to give you some numbers here, we have a CRM management tool which actually tells us we have 10 million consumers, and out of which a large chunk of our consumers are millennials. And they are actually forming a very large chunk of our franchise across all these 4 brands. And as you talk about Park Avenue and ColorPlus itself, all Park Avenue and ColorPlus stores, as we talk today, are actually omni-channel integrated. We have built in that kind of technology into them. And the whole game for us is to keep on leveraging this whole omni-channel play. Online is another big channel which is showing traction. Roughly around 15% of our current apparel business is already selling online. And we see huge opportunity to do both A, online play, B, omni-channel play. So in terms of the whole way that we see the apparel business, we see multiple growth factors across all 4 brands, and we see huge traction across leveraging the Raymond stores footprint as well as omni-channel play.
But just one more time, I need to ask you, because the report indicates a valuation of 500 crores for one business, more than 500 crore for the other business. You all haven't met Bestseller at all. There is no discussion whatsoever. Is that correct?
See, again, I'm saying is these valuations games are very, very speculative. You can at any time put any valuation to it. You can say anything.
No, Sunil. Sunil, I'm not asking about the valuation. I'm asking about, has there been any kind of meeting which has fallen through, or there was no meeting whatsoever?
See, the meetings happen for very different purposes at different times. You keep on meeting people, but I can tell you the game plan is very clear that we are not looking at any time having of this business. We in fact have very clearly laid the blueprint for doubling this business in the next 3 years and across our brand portfolio.
Okay, Sunil, good morning. Thanks for joining us. Could you just tell us how much ColorPlus and Park Avenue contribute to your revenue right now? If you could help us with those figures. And also during COVID, we would imagine that, of course, sales had gone down. Where do they stand right now, and what is the outlook? How much could they contribute?
So roughly around 40% of our business of Raymond Apparels comes from these 2 brands. And the plan is to grow these 2 as well as open up multiple vectors. We actually are clearly seeing in the last quarter, and I think the last third performance is clearly a demonstrated proof. We have done, as you said yourself, 300 odd crore plus, 320 odd crore plus kind of numbers. We are seeing huge traction. And mind you, these Q3 numbers are also still in the middle of COVID overhang. The work from home had still been in the air at that time. Still, we have tracked that numbers. We clearly are seeing ourselves at pre-COVID plus kind of numbers. And the last couple of months trend and what we are seeing in terms of already, let's say, bookings from our trade partners, indications from the channel partners, there is huge season of weddings coming into play in the next quarter. So clearly the game plan, and we're pretty confident that our next quarter numbers and the numbers going forward will be much ahead of our pre-COVID numbers.
All right, Sunil, people are again suiting up and booting up because that unlocked trade is playing out, and the worst of COVID is behind us, and for the good of business, for the good of humanity, for the good of everyone, we are hoping about that. How far away are you in comparison to pre-COVID levels, or are you already ahead of pre-COVID levels?
So, like I just mentioned to you, that across brands, if you see in the apparel business, we are pretty much now almost there we are at the pre-COVID levels. And what we are very confident is, given the way we are already seeing traction in the last couple of months and now heading into April, we're pretty confident that going into the next year, we will beat pre-COVID levels pretty much, strongly.
Mm.
And there are two plays also happening, I think, which are really helping us in this. See, one thing is, and as you said, hoping for the sake of humanity that there is nothing, macro at the pandemic level happens again. Clearly, this time what we are seeing is the post-Omicron wave, is that the unlockdown is pretty much near normal. Most offices actually have started working near normal levels. People have started travel across. We just heard the news that international travel is opened up. So I think there is a very clear pent-up demand in the market with sectors which got impacted a lot to do with like retail, travel, hospitality. And I think, those are sectors which are very going to see a comeback because consumers want to go back and live life in that way. So fashion, lifestyle, travel, these are the pieces which will come back very strongly.
Oh, absolutely. It's not the first time we've heard someone mention revenge shopping or revenge travel. Just one last question before we let you go. What is the current debt on your books looking like? If you could help us with that figure.
See, that's a figure which I would not like to explain right now because that is at a Raymond Limited level, which is the overall entity. And while Raymond Lifestyle Business is not a listed entity, so that's something which we will not comment right now.
Okay.
But I can tell you one thing. We're in a pretty healthy situation.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much, Sunil, for stopping by. You have cleared the air with regard to those rumors. You're sounding rather optimistic on business as well, doubling your revenues in various verticals. We look forward to chatting with you rather soon. But the big news that's coming in there right now is the management of Raymond. They have gone ahead and they've denied any kind of those reports that they're going to be selling either ColorPlus or Park Avenue, at least as of now. And the stock is reacting. It's come off the high point of the day. For the time being, though, we'll slip into a short break. When you come back, we'll continue our focus on the markets. Stay with us.